So it's been a while since I last did an actor hop, and that was because I was having a lot of trouble choosing some films that I was actually interested in. So to begin with, the last one I did was We'll Never Have Paris, and I chose to hop with Maggie to a film called Malice in Wonderland. Obviously a parody on Alice in Wonderland. And the reason I wanted to watch this is because IMDb said it's set in the northeast of England. No, it's not. It's set in London, and it's basically all about the dark side of London, and it's the biggest load of rubbish I've ever seen. It's very, very, very loosely a parody of Alice in Wonderland. Matt King was in it and Dyer was in it, you know, that was good. That was about the only thing good in this. I cannot think of anything else good to say about it. It was creative, I'll give it that. But that's not necessarily a good thing in terms of viewing pleasure. I have nothing else to say other than just don't waste your time. And then I broke my own rule. Ordinarily I will not hop with the same actor twice in a row, but I was so struggling to find anything to watch that I again hopped with Maggie to a film called Murder in Greenwich. How exciting, I love Greenwich, it's lovely. It's not Greenwich in London, it's Greenwich in Connecticut. So that was the first thing that kind of upset me a bit, but no, it's based on a true story about a girl called Martha Moxley who went missing, and 22 years later this writer rekindles the case to try and find out the truth about her murder, which sounds interesting enough. And the narrative, if it was fiction, if we forget that it's based on a true story, it's really gripping. It has a fantastic sound effect. I think it's quite intense. It's really good at kind of building suspense. It's got a whiff of an old detective drama about it, so if you're into that kind of thing it'll appeal. But when you remember that it's not fiction and that it is based on truth, wow, is it insensitive. The narrator is Martha Moxley herself. Now I should say the performance of the narrator, it's Maggie Grace, fine, the delivery is great, but it is so cheesy. There's one point where she says the words trick or treat, and I'm like, yeah, that's sick and twisted and kind of offensive. And just there are certain lines that are said in narrative that are so unexpected because it's so, I just can't get over how offensive it is, how offensively it's done. Yes, fine, give the murdered girl a voice. I can see the appeal, and perhaps that's what they were trying to do, to say, look, she was a murdered girl, yes, this is a film, but she was a real person, she had a voice, she should have lived. But my goodness, the dialogue is so insensitive, and I'm watching it thinking this can't be real. So yes, as a film, great. As a reflection of something that actually happened, I don't know how any of Martha Moxley's family found it, but personally, if it was me, I would have been so offended. So we're not really off to a good start with these two, but the third one is a bit better. I hopped with Sam Wallace from Murder in Greenwich to a film called The Ugly. And I will be honest, when I was sifting through IMDb, it was purely the poster art that caught my attention for this. And it's about a psychologist who goes to talk to a serial killer. A serial killer is in a psych ward because he was trialled under mental illness. And she talks to him to try and find out really why he was doing all of these murders. And I think the way it's told is great. We have some wonderful kind of flashback scenes, and it's really interestingly kind of developed. But I think the thing that's the most difficult about this, in the best possible way, is that you feel sorry for the serial killer and you start to feel for him. And there are a lot of times where you're questioning your own attitudes towards this film, thinking, do I feel sorry for him? Should I feel sorry for a murderer? What's going on with my mind? And I think it was beautifully developed, and I think the rate of giving information was great. The character development of the serial killer was spot on, and there are a couple of really nasty prison wardens in this who you just want to punch in the face. Hate them, but that's obviously the intention. And yeah, it was, I wouldn't say it was the best film I've ever seen, but compared to the previous two, I'm glad we ended on a semi-high. So let's hope that the next batch of actor hops are slightly better. I don't know who I will be hopping with from The Ugly, so if you wish to have any suggestions for that, I would of course love to hear them, and any specific praise for any of the films connected with any of those actors. If you've seen any of these films, do let me know what you think of them. If you wish to do the actor hop series, I would be more than happy for you to do that. It's a lot of fun, and you do get to see a lot of films you wouldn't ordinarily see, sometimes for the better, sometimes for the worst. Thank you for watching this, and I will speak to you all soon.